We continue. Act 2, Scene 4. Whole Foods and JP. Excursions. Enter Richard at one door and Clifford at the other. Now, Clifford, I have singled thee alone. Suppose this arm is for the Duke of York, and this for Rutland, both bound to revenge, were't not environed with a brazen wall. Now, Richard, I am with thee here alone. This is the hand that stabbed my father York, and this is the hand that slew thy brother Rutland. And here's the heart that triumphs in their death and cheers these hands that slew thy sire and brother to execute the like upon thyself. And so have at thee. Alarms, they fight. Warwick comes and rescues Richard. Clifford flies. Nay, Warwick, single out some other chase, for I myself will hunt this wolf to death. Continuing on, Act 2, Scene 5. Alarm, enter King Henry alone. This battle fares like to the morning's war, when dying clouds contend with growing light. What time the shepherd blowing of his nails can neither call it perfect day nor night. Now sways it this way like a mighty sea, forced by the tide to combat with the wind. Now sways it that way like the self-same sea, forced to retire by fury of the wind. Sometime the flood prevails, and then the wind, now one the better, then another best. Both tugging to be victors breast to breast, yet neither conqueror nor conquered. So is the equal poise of this fell war. Here on this molehill will I sit me down, to whom God willed there be the victory. For Margaret my queen, and Clifford too, chid me from battle, swearing both they prosper best of all when I am thence. Would I were dead if God's good will were so. For what is in this world but grief and woe? O God, methinks it were a happy life to be no better than a homely swain, to sit upon a hill as I do now, but to carve out dials quaintly, point by point, thereby to see the minutes how they run. How many makes the hour full complete? How many hours brings about the day? How many days will finish up the year? How many years a mortal man may live? When this is known, then to divide the times. So many hours must I tend my flock, so many hours must I take my rest, so many hours must I contemplate, so many hours must I sport myself, so many days my ewes have been with young, so many weeks ere the poor fools will eat, so many years ere I shall shear the fleece, so many hours, days, weeks, months, and years, passed over to the end they were created, would bring white hairs unto a quiet grave. Ah! What a life were this, how sweet, how lovely! Gives not the hawthorn bush a sweeter shade to shepherds looking on their silly sheep than doth a rich embroidered canopy to kings that fear their subjects' treachery? Oh yes, it doth, 1,000-fold it doth, and to conclude the shepherd's homely curds, his cold thin drink out of his leather bottle, his wanton sheep under a fresh tree's shade, all which secure and sweetly he enjoys, is far beyond a prince's delicates, his viands sparkling in a golden cup, his body couched in a curious bed, when care, mistrust, and treason waits on him. Alarm. Enter a son that hath killed his father at one door, and a father that hath killed his son at another door, with their bodies. The son speaks first. Ill blows the wind that profits nobody. This man whom hand to hand I slew in fight may be possessed with some store of crowns, and I that haply take them from him now, may yet ere night yield both my life and them to some man else, as this dead man doth me. Who's this? O God, it is my father's face, whom in this conflict I unwares have killed. O heavy times begetting such events! From London by the king was I pressed forth. My father, being the Earl of Warwick's man, came on the part of York, pressed by his master. And I, who at his hands received my life, have by my hands of life bereaved him. Pardon me, God, I knew not what I did, and pardon, Father, for I knew not thee. My tears shall wipe away these bloody marks, and no more words till they have flowed their fill. King Henry speaks. Oh, piteous spectacle! Oh, bloody times! While lions war in battle for their dens, poor harmless lambs abide their enmity. Weep, wretched man, I'll aid thee tear for tear, and let our hearts and eyes, like civil war, be blind with tears and break o'ercharged with grief. The father comes forward bearing of his son. Thou that so stoutly had resisted me, give me thy gold, if thou hast any gold, for I have bought it with 100 blows. But let me see, is this our foreman's face? Ah, no, 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 it is mine only son. Ah, boy, if any life be left in thee, throw up thine eye. See, see what showers arise, blown with the windy tempest of my heart upon thy wounds that kills mine eye and heart. Oh, pity God this miserable age. What stratagems, how fell, how butcherly, erroneous, mutinous, and unnatural, this deadly quarrel daily doth beget. O boy, thy father gave thee life too soon, and hath bereft thee of thy life too late. Woe above woe, grief more than common grief. Oh, that my death would stay these ruthful deeds. Oh, pity, pity, gentle heaven, pity. The red rose and the white are on his face, the fatal colours of our striving houses. The one his purple blood right well resembles, the other his pale cheeks methinks presenteth. Wither one rose, and let the other flourish. If you contend, 1,000 lives must wither. How will my mother for a father's death take on with me and ne'er be satisfied? How will my wife for slaughter of my son shed seas of tears and ne'er be satisfied? How will the country for these woeful chances misthink the king and not be satisfied? Was ever son so rued a father's death? Was ever father so bemoaned a son? Was ever king so grieved for subjects' woe? Grieved for subjects' woe, not grieved, Bill. Much is your sorrow mine, 10 times so much. I'll bear thee hence, where I may weep my fill. These arms of mine shall be thy winding sheet. My heart, sweet boy, shall be thy sepulchre. For from my heart thine image ne'er shall go. My sighing breast shall be thy funeral bell. And so obsequious will thy father be, e'en for the loss of thee having no more, as Priam was for all his valiant sons. I'll bear thee hence, and let them fight that will. For I have murdered where I should not kill. Exit bearing his son. King Henry. Sad-hearted men, much overgone with care. Here sits a king more woeful than you are. Alarms, excursions, enter Queen Margaret, Prince Edward, and Exeter. Fly, father, fly! For all your friends are fled, and Warwick rages like a chafed bull, away for death doth hold us in pursuit. Mount you, my lords, towards Berwick post amain. Edward and Richard like a brace of greyhounds, having the fearful flying hare in sight, with fearful eyes sparkling for very wrath, and bloody steel grasped in their ireful hands, are at our backs, and therefore hence. Amain!
Carry on!
Okay, thank you. Away for vengeance comes along with them. They stay not to expostulate, make speed, or else come after, I'll away before. Nay, take me with thee, good sweet Exeter. Not that I fear to stay, but love to go whither the Queen intends. Forward, away.